Normally, I would refrain from comments and speaking about things that seem unpopular, not because they provoke some kind of hatred or because I'm scared of the repercussion of my own unpopular opinions, but because I don't really want to expose myself that much to the internet. It's about security and keeping yourself, well, basically safe. But now I have to do what I have to do. Why is really Game of Thrones season 7 bad? I will talk about the points that people seem to complain about, and I will try and explain why those points, though they have a basis, they aren't really that good. Now, this is made thanks to a Forbes.com site where basically the title of the article is "Here are the 5 biggest problems with season 7 of Game of Thrones." So let's start with one of the first, and you can read the article. I'm just gonna be skipping the numbers and talking about the problems. Why has Tyrion become so bad at devising plan and strategy? Tyrion hasn't become bad at it. The funny part is, he hasn't become bad at all. He is still as good. The only problem in the series is that Daenerys kind of refuses his counsel, and that basically most people expect what he'll do. Now, in the episode where the Unsullied go and attack Castle Rock, they manage. That plan works. They get Castle Rock. What that was not foreseen, though, was the help of Euron Greyjoy coming to attack the Unsullied in Castle Rock. The next problem is, why did Rhaegar and Lyanna name their son Aegon when Rhaegar already had a son named Aegon? Well, this is true indeed a problem. We have to consider that Lyanna names him after Rhaegar's children die. She names John Aegon after the battle for King's Landing, when already people know that the Mountain, by the orders of Tywin Lannister, killed Rhaegar's children and his wife. So they name him Aegon. I guess I understand more as a foreshadowing. Let us remember that in the books, Rhaegar's son Aegon is supposed to be alive and well and coming with the Golden Company to conquer Westeros. But it might be a foreshadowing for the true lineage of Jon Snow, which would make more sense than just being, okay, we're comparing him with Aegon from the books. Why has Littlefinger become so dense? Littlefinger has tried to make the sisters fight each other. He did indeed try. Yes, indeed, he tried. The only problem was that by the point he has become kind of worthless. Because Sansa already knew how to play the politics game, and Arya she is basically a worshipper of the god of death. So that implies that Littlefinger isn't dense, he just is outclassed. How did Jaime and Bronn swim so far in armor and Jaime in a plate with a golden hand? Indeed, this was one of the things I always thought it's funny that it's normal that people could pick on it. But it's the same as people complaining that Jon Snow didn't die when he came out of the water in in that episode. Why? Because this is a show where dragons are real and they're frozen zombies coming to destroy the plane of humans. I'm not sure if reality can be a concept in it. If we are to talk about it, how did Frodo and Sam survive that long on their way to Mordor? How on earth did Euron Greyjoy build all those ships? The way you would build normal ships, I happen to understand, and if he mobilized everyone from the Iron Islands to build those ships, yeah, he could build those ships. What happened to the Dornish army, and why didn't Dany try to muster that army after the Sand Snakes were killed? Interesting point. The Sand Snakes killed the ruler of Dorne. They killed the Martell, and they took control abusively. I'm not sure that there will be much of a Dornish army to fight for the Sand Snakes. Why didn't Daenerys go after the White Walkers with her dragon instead of just focusing on the zombies? Because the zombies were the main problem. That's the thing. The zombies were close, and they were destroying, and they were coming close to the group and the right. And now the article mentions Warrior's Ghost, which happens to be an interesting thing that I cannot debunk in any way because I'm not sure. Also, another complaint is that the supply battle was just a big dragon and some fire, Dothraki killing Lannisters, Jaime and Bronn narrowly escaping death, and no incredible conversation, no incredible character moment or revelation, no intrigue. I have to disagree. Let us remember that Tyrion was watching Jaime as he wanted to charge at Daenerys, as he thought that with one blow he could end the war, or try to end the war. He was on top of the cliff, and he wanted Jaime to not do it because he knew what would happen if he tried to do it. Basically, he would be made a shish kebab, and that wasn't what Tyrion wants for his brother. This shows the brotherly compassion that Tyrion holds for Jaime. Let us see. We get some more character development of Dickon, which is kind of worthless because he dies in the next episode. But we see that he wants to be someone, and he really wants to raise the expectation of being a knight. Now, what else? Renly Tyrell is the same. And we see something incredible in that supply battle. That being that there are crazy Dothrakis that would swing their swords above their head and run into dragon fire. I guess this is what love for your queen really means, doesn't it? The Winterfell storyline didn't make sense. As I mentioned above, Littlefinger just seemed to be outclassed by a faceless man and someone that he taught. This thing with Sansa outsmarting Littlefinger is another case of the student beating the master at his own game, the student becoming better than the master. So, indeed, it had some weak points, but the whole idea of the Winterfell problem was that Arya and Sansa should fight each other so that Littlefinger can come and collect the scraps of it. It failed with the help of Bran, and with the fact that the Stark sisters wouldn't really play into Littlefinger's game. Now for the next one. The plan to catch a White was still tremendously stupid, because Cersei only pretended to agree to a truce because it's Cersei. Cersei agreed to a truce, and the pretending part comes a little bit different. It comes because of the next problem. She is convinced that the White Walkers and the Whites will come and they will try to destroy everything that's alive in this continent. Indeed, she knows that. The problem appears now on the fact that how willing she is to go. Indeed, she pretends, but she's forced into it. Because despite being someone smart, she knows what is the real plan she should take so she could win the Game of Thrones. She isn't Littlefinger to want to see the whole Seven Kingdoms in ruins and ashes, only to proclaim himself king of the ashes. She wants it to live. She wants to reign. She wants to be king. No, I mean queen. Thoros of Myr died. Unfortunately, yes, that was a very bad act. Dany lost a dragon, which was then turned into a white dragon and used to topple the wall, letting the army of darkness. This I'm gonna pick it with the following thing. Why did the White King attack Viserion and not Drogon, which was just standing there as a sitting duck? The answer is very simple. Viserion was the one destroying the Night King's army. Viserion was a real problem in this case, not Drogo. Drogo was just sitting there. He wasn't attacking anything. They wanted to escape on Drogo. Sure, killing Drogo would have made a better target and would have made a better dragon. But there were 2 more dragons destroying your army, and pretty much they could have destroyed you as well. So, attacking Viserion was the smart idea, because that way he made sure his army will be alive and he will get a dragon. About getting the dragon, most people complain about the fact that, where did they get the chains? They pulled them out of their ass. No. We know, if I remember correctly, that in Hardhome there were giants that use immense chains to carry stuff. They could have taken them from Hardhome. More than sure they took them from Hardhome. The thing is, do you really want to see how the White Walkers took the White Army all the way to Hardhome, and then they took the chains, and want to see the Whites going down and pulling and tying up Viserion? Here's the thing. Most people complain that's rushed, that people teleport in this series nowadays. I don't think you want to see Sir Davos and Jon Snow just rowing in a boat for 6 episodes until they reach Dragonstone. And I don't think you really want to watch Melisandre's journey. But that would be, Melisandre's journey might be interesting if something happens. If not, it's just gonna be a woman on a horse riding to Dragonstone. The thing is, this teleporting stuff has always been something that the show and the book uses. The time passes that it goes through, because it comes to the sense it doesn't rush the story. It gets it to a point, and this is what season 7 really did. It got the story to a point. We had like 6 seasons to watch the show and be happy with it, and now we're reaching its conclusion. That said, teleporting was always used and is not a bad story narrative. It's a good one used in this show. Another fact that people complain about is that people, which I think I saw in a YouTube comment, is that there are no more main characters die. I think everything's a fan fiction now. If I remember correctly, there were a lot of people that complained about characters dying. Like, when the previous 6 seasons, they kind of died left and right, and most people complained about them. Now that nobody's dying, it just, people complain about them not dying. And I understand why you would want to see some characters dying just for the emotional shock that can bring to some people. But we have to understand that if they keep killing more people, the show will be left with a few main characters, which kind of already is left with a few main characters, but it always has been. And that would be it. There'll be nothing to it. Just that. A few main characters, and that's all. Also, the last main complaint I want to address, and after this will be done, I'll probably do a video about why season 7 is good. Benjen Stark. Benjen Stark comes out as Deus Ex Machina to help and save Jon Snow. But he doesn't go with him. He prefers to die. And honestly, he has a pretty awesome weapon that I could see some real use in this world. Or fantasy world, rather. The thing is, to answer the complaint why Benjen didn't go, even if he reached the wall, he wouldn't have where to go. He is cursed. And thanks to that, he can't go beyond the wall. He is stuck behind the wall. Now, you might add the fact that, well, the Night King destroyed it, and so, he could have passed in. He wouldn't have known that the Night King can destroy that with the dragon. And his act of sacrifice was a way to buy time for Jon and to basically get rid of this curse of living as a White Walker / human hybrid, which is an interesting thing that I would like to see something more about it, but we won't. He decided to end his own suffering. He couldn't go past the wall, and he was stuck in this forsaken north where he had nothing else besides his horse, I guess, and that awesome weapon. And that's the problem. That's why he decided, more than likely to. Yes, he came in as a Deus Ex Machina to save Jon, but indeed he is a Deus Ex Machina, as he saved Bronn as well. So that was Benjen Stark's role in the series, to be a Deus Ex Machina. Indeed, he did this stuff, but indeed he did everything that he did with a point. He did everything to an extent that makes sense if you understand it. And this has been my speech on season 7 of Game of Thrones. And is it really bad? Thank you for watching.